The Republic of Azerbaijan is a problem because it has a very close relationship with the Israeli regime. Erdogan in Turkey and Aliyev in Azerbaijan together collaborate a lot with Israelis. Uh, we know that uh, oil goes from Baku through Turkey to um, the Israeli regime, and that there's extensive trade and business between these three countries. Uh, the Republic of Azerbaijan receives a lot of weapons from the Israeli regime. Their alliance is very close, and that is, of course, a threat to, from the Iranian perspective, a threat to the region. Uh, Azerbaijan is also very vulnerable because it is a small country. It is sandwiched between Iran and Russia, and it is a Aliyev is, of course, he's the lifelong leader of the country, and uh, he has uh, he has a history of being very unpredictable. Iran, at some point, Iran was actually assisting him during the very difficult days of the country. Later on, the Americans convinced him to shift away from Iran, and he did so. Now it is believed that he is actually supporting the Israeli regime in its aggression against Iran. There is it's a widely held belief among ordinary Iranians, especially those who live near the border, that drones fly from the Republic of Azerbaijan into Iran and attack targets, including targets close to the Republic in in Iran's province of eastern Azerbaijan and Ardabil and the northern provinces, and even Tehran. So things are becoming more tense. The Iranians, of course, want a peaceful Caucasus. We want our neighboring countries to live in peace because it's in everyone's interests. In the Persian Gulf region, even though all of these Arab family dictatorships are bound to the United States, but Iran doesn't want to uh, expand the war to these areas because it's in no one's interest. It's not in Iran's interest. It's not in anyone else's interest. But if the Iranians feel that Baku is insisting on continuing this sort of cooperation with the Israelis to the detriment of the Iranian people, then I think we'll probably see a shift. We'll see a shift in Tehran's position towards uh, Aliyev, and that could be dangerous. Dangerous for him. The popular mood in Iran is very negative towards him. And I think he underestimates how angry people in the northern provinces are, especially uh, provinces near Azerbaijan, the Republic of Azerbaijan. So we'll have to wait and see. But President Pezeshkian was there yesterday, and I think it's clear what he was trying to do. He was trying to, because there was a co- the ECHO conference where heads of state from ECHO members were participating, and I'm sure that he told Aliyev Iran's concerns and tried to open the door to him to say that, look, you can have the opportunity for better relations, and you can also risk bringing about grave difficulty for yourself. So I think that's where we stand right now with Aliyev. One thing that I think going back to the Republic of Azerbaijan, and that is that Mr. Aliyev, I think, misreads the current situation in the world. In the 90s, when he, at the orders of the United States, under pressure from the United States and the Europeans, when he distanced himself from Iran, that was at a time when the United States was the global superpower. That's when the United States was the hyperpower. And Europe, of course, as the close ally of the United States, was empowered as a part of that empire. But the world has changed, and the protective umbrella of the United States for Aliyev or the Europeans is not very impressive. And so, unless he rethinks his foreign policy and looks carefully at the map and what's happening in the world around him, then there could be significant trouble ahead for his country, especially as I said, it's a small country, very dependent on oil and gas, and it does not have the ability to resist a power like Iran. And its population, very a large part of it, the population is very sympathetic towards Iran. Uh, most Azaris are Iranian, and he is of course he suppresses religion in his country, and that makes him very unpopular. Many religious leaders, almost all the key religious leaders in the country, are in jail or are under some form of house arrest, and his and of course his alliance with the Israeli regime as this Holocaust is being carried out in Gaza and as the slaughter is being carried out in Lebanon or the West Bank, the killings in Lebanon and what the West Bank continue, that creates anger among the general public, as it does across the region and beyond when people see their governments cooperating with with Netanyahu and his regime. So that is an issue that I think in the days, weeks, and months ahead will have to be addressed in Baku in one form or another. But Syria, I think it's a different case, Glenn. I think Syria is, of course, the sanctions should have been removed a long time ago. These sanctions are barbaric sanctions against any people anywhere in the world can only be imposed by regimes that have no sense of humanity, whether it's Cuba or Afghanistan or Yemen or Syria or anywhere else. Sanctions are for targeting ordinary people. There's that is the objective. To say otherwise is just to be deceptive. When they say they're targeting the government or what they like to call regimes, that's just to justify what they're doing. But the objective is to harm ordinary people. It's a war. It's a form. It's just like bombing people, but it's a silent uh, form of murder. So that obviously is something good. Nothing. The Americans shouldn't be thanked for it. They haven't. It's like the Israelis carrying out a ceasefire in Gaza. Let's say no one should thank the regime for it if they actually do have a ceasefire. But I think Syria is falling apart. I mean, Jolani or Shara or whatever they'd like to call him, um, he is not going to be able to do anything positive for Syria, and I don't think that's his intention. The different groups that are aligned to him are deeply divided. There are deep differences between them. There are many thousands of foreign fighters as well, and many of these Salafists and Wahhabis, they have their own agenda, and Syria is a destroyed country. The Israeli regime, after the fall of President Assad, they went and destroyed the country's infrastructures. They've occupied key territories, and Shara is desperate. He's more interested in killing his own people or attacking the borders of Lebanon than he is for to put pressure on the Israeli regime militarily and push them out of his territory. And the Israeli regime is overstretched uh, as it is. And if there's a moment in which he could put pressure on the regime, it is now because they mobilize everywhere and they're waging war everywhere. But he has no intention to do so. And this is something that the Iranians were predicting from day one in 2011 when Qatar and Turkey and others were supporting this dirty war on behalf of the Americans and Israelis. The Iranians were saying from the beginning that the objective is to destroy Syria, to bring a regime to power that is obedient to the United States. And that's basically what's now happened. And many of those who supported this dirty war, I think, are waking up to the reality, except for a segment of people who've been so deeply brainwashed by Qatar and Saudi Arabia and Salafists and Wahhabis, this, the sectarian, racist sort of people that will never change their mindset. Except for them, everyone else has recognized by now what is really going on in Syria. But I don't think that's going to do the United States any good because the more or Jolani tilts to Israel, the stronger the resistance becomes. Because what the United States and the Israelis and their regional allies, like Erdogan, Qatar, and others, succeeded in doing in the past was use sectarianism to divide the region. And that's how they weakened the resistance. But now, I think after what we saw in Lebanon, what we saw in Yemen, and the war against Iran, people across the region recognize the role that the resistance and the axis of resistance plays in supporting the people of Gaza. And if Shara or anyone else makes, but Shara in particular, makes more moves towards normalization, then more people are going to uh, join the resistance. Those who've been opposed to the resistance because they believe the sectarian and the other uh, narratives used against the resistance, that they're going to shift. So, I've always said that the closer any countries grow to Israel, the less popular they become, and the less legitimate they become in the eyes of their own people. The only country that can get away with this sort of thing is a country like the Emirates, because the Emirates is a police state. They are so they are so carefully monitoring everything that happens that no one in the country is going to say anything. Most people in the Emirates are foreigners. They are indentured servants, sort of like any slave sort of people. Uh, Only a bit over 1 million people in that country actually have Emirati passports. The rest are foreigners. So the control that the state has is immense. But other countries, they are always facing grave difficulty. The situation in Jordan is not good. The situation in Syria, not good. Even in Saudi Arabia, people uh, expect the Saudi government to support the Palestinian people. But if the Saudi government is seen to be tilting away from the Palestinian people, it undermines the authority of the state. So everything right now, under these circumstances where everyone is angry and everyone is outraged and day and night they're watching the scenes, tilting towards the Israeli regime, in a sense, strengthens the axis of resistance.